Mr. Speaker, I touched on the main central issue of this debate, which is democracy. We went through this endlessly in the last Parliament. Every week I'd come down here and I thought, it can't get worse, and it did. And it's very, very simple. David Cameron, in the 2015 election campaign, promised that if there's a Conservative majority, he would deliver an in-out, decisive referendum. The people would be given the power. They would decide whatever they decided, remain or leave, Parliament would honour. That was then endorsed throughout the referendum debates. It was made very clear by the then Foreign Secretary, who's now left the House, that this was decisive. We, the MPs, we are currently sovereign. We will give you, the people, the power to decide this issue. It was binary. There's no talk about trade deals. There's no talk about crashing out. It was remain or leave. That was then endorsed in the general election, when the two main parties got over 80% of the vote in 2017. Honourable Member for Maidenhead, who's not here today, actually got the second largest number of seats in British history until this recent election. But we had a further endorsement. The people were given another bite to try to get the message across. And that was the European elections this summer, in which, amazingly, the Conservative Party managed to come fifth behind the Greens, because our then withdrawal agreement was so unpalatable. So they've had a fourth bite, and I am very proud of those people. I'm very proud to represent them last week, 8 days ago, with the windscreen wipers on double wipe. There were queues in Oswestry in the rain, queues in Market Drayton, all my small villages. They all said, this is unprecedented. And I suppose about lunchtime, I think, in fairness, my wife got there first, we twigged. This was a rerun of the referendum. Those people had been abused, they'd been traduced, they'd been bombarded with propaganda leading up to the referendum, then after the referendum, and since then, they were told they were thick, they were told they were racist. We in the RG, we were told we were fascists, we were Nazis, we were extremists. And what did we want? All we wanted was to honour the referendum, the core of which is that laws in taxes imposed upon British citizens would be levied by democratically appointed politicians, elected politicians of this House. If they passed good laws, they'd be re-elected. If they passed fair taxes and spent the money well, they would be re-elected. If they didn't, they would be chucked out by the electors. A very, very simple principle which we have taught the world about for centuries. And that's what this is about. For those members, and it's staggering to hear them this morning, still quibbling, still cavilling about this. 4 times the people have spoken. How many more times do they have to speak to get it? They voted to leave. And this bill means they will leave. And I'm delighted for it. I've already touched, I'm going over my time, looking at the clock. Very, very briefly, I mentioned one issue. The Prime Minister gave me a splendid answer. I've touched on my fears on Northern Ireland. I would just very quickly like to mention fish and reiterate that in 2005, Conservative Party voted for the election on my Green Paper, which established that the common fisheries policy is a biological, environmental, economic, social disaster, and we need to replace it. We need to take back complete control of the EEZ and all our resources, and then on an annual basis, in an amicable manner like other maritime nations, negotiate reciprocal deals on quota. And that is the way ahead. But this is a day for democracy. No others want to speak. We are delivering what the people wanted 4 times, and I'm delighted to support the bill.